this is Sherry Veronica. Donald Trump was elected by millions of Americans to do a job. And those millions of Americans like his on-the-job performance. They like exactly what he's doing. And he was hired to do exactly what he's doing. Now, this guy, Abbas Araghchi, out of Iran, he is the foreign minister for Iran. He talks about everlasting consequences based on the decision that was made late Saturday, early Sunday to do whatever was done to their bases that held whatever was held there that the Americans thought could be a danger in terms of the stance Iran has taken with Israel. And you know that there's war with Iran and Israel as I speak. And although Donald Trump and the Americans, the apparatus in Washington, D.C., the military, they're saying they don't want to go to war, and they're not at war, but they need Iran to come to their senses. Iran is saying that what America did was they endangered global security. And when those words were used, everlasting consequences, when you hear the word everlasting, as far as we know, there are mortals on the earth. Mortality is a curse, okay? Mortality is a curse, and everyone is supposed to die, but yet he's talking about everlasting consequences based on a decision that was made by the military. Now this one here, I always liked her. I always liked AOC, but I think she's I think she's delusional. I think she is. What is she? Is she doing something that she thinks she should do, Cortez? Is she just behaving in the way that she thinks she should behave? What Donald Trump has shown the world is he is invincible, okay? He is not going to be impeached. They're going to do whatever, impeachment letters or whatever. He's not going to be impeached. Donald Trump is never going to be held accountable for anything that they may say that he has done. He's not going to be held. He's above that. If there's anyone who is above the law, if there's anyone in the history that we know that has been shown to be above the law, it's Donald Trump and the monarchy, the ones who sanctioned slavery and still are still in power. There are very, very few, but they have shown themselves to be above the law. So that's why I say that she's acting like kind of ignorant, talking about impeachment, grounds for impeachment. So let's go back to Abbas Araghchi here, talking about everlasting consequences. I like to know what those everlasting consequences are, and I like to know if after hearing about everlasting consequences, if the Americans will go full force back into dropping whatever they dropped and doing whatever they did to make sure that there are no everlasting consequences, because that's a great threat. That was a huge statement, those two words, everlasting consequences. That was some heavy duty words. And like I said, language is a curse. Mortality is a curse. So it's going to be interesting to see how they work these curses out. How is it going to be worked out? And, the fact that there are wars and the fact that there are people who use that same Bible to cause the wars and to sustain the wars. It's going to be interesting to see how when people are working within a curse, everything here is like you're working within a curse. Let's see how they work for peace within the curse. This is Sherry Veronica.
Help me spread the word about Naked Departure via social media. Subscribe and share to show support and love for our channels.